The lights on Orbital Station Nexus 7 were too bright for human eyes, but Dae-ho Kim had learned to deal with worse things during his time as a Marine. He stood at attention near the main entrance of the diplomatic hall, his dress blue uniform perfectly pressed. The reception was important for Earth. This was only humanity's third year as members of the Galactic Council, and every meeting mattered. Dae-ho watched as alien diplomats moved through the large room. Some looked almost human, while others were so strange that he still felt surprised when he saw them. The Altarians were the most impressive. They stood 8 feet tall with blue-gray skin and faces that looked carved from stone. Their leader, Commander Veltar, wore a uniform covered in medals and walked like he owned the entire station. "Stay alert, Sergeant Kim," Captain Jinwoo Nam whispered as he passed by. "Ambassador Choi wants everything to go perfectly tonight." Dae-ho nodded. He had been chosen for this duty because he was one of the largest Marines in the unit. At 6 feet 4 inches, he was supposed to look impressive next to the aliens. But standing near Commander Veltar, Dae-ho felt small. The Altarian commander had shoulders as wide as a door and arms thick as tree trunks. Near the food tables, So-min Park was talking with a group of alien diplomats. She was Earth's cultural liaison officer, and her job was to help everyone understand each other. She spoke 5 alien languages and always seemed to know the right thing to say. Right now, she was explaining human food customs to a group of insect-like aliens who kept clicking their mandibles in what Dae-ho hoped was interest, not hunger. "The humans think they are so special," Veltar's voice carried across the room. He was speaking loudly enough for everyone to hear. "They come from a small planet at the edge of the galaxy and think they deserve to sit with real warriors." Several alien diplomats turned to listen. Dae-ho kept his face blank, but inside he felt angry. The Altarians had been saying things like this for months. They thought humans were weak because Earth was new to space travel. "Their soldiers are tiny," Veltar continued, gesturing toward Dae-ho. "Look at that one. He thinks he is a warrior, but he would break like a twig in real combat." Ambassador Hee-jin Choi stepped forward. She was a small woman with gray hair, but she had been dealing with difficult people for 30 years. "Commander Veltar, perhaps we could discuss our differences privately." "There is nothing to discuss," Veltar said. His voice sounded like rocks grinding together. "The hegemony has protected this galaxy for 1,000 years. We do not need help from primitives who just learned to leave their own planet." Tae-sung Lee, the intelligence officer, moved closer to Dae-ho. "This is getting bad," he whispered. "Veltar is trying to make us look weak in front of everyone." Dae-ho knew Tae-sung was right. There were reporters here from a dozen different worlds. If humanity looked weak tonight, it would be news across the galaxy by morning. Other species were already unsure about letting humans join the council. This kind of public embarrassment could set Earth back for years. The tension in the room grew thicker. Alien diplomats were choosing sides with their body language. Some moved closer to the Altarians while others stayed near the human delegation. Everyone was waiting to see what would happen next. "Perhaps," Veltar said, his voice getting louder, "we should test these human warriors. See if they are as strong as they claim to be." Ambassador Choi raised her hand. "Commander, I don't think that would be appropriate at a diplomatic function." "Scared?" Veltar asked. His mouth turned up in what might have been a smile, showing teeth like white stones. "The great human warriors are scared of a simple test?" Dae-ho felt his jaw tighten. He had been in combat zones where bullets flew over his head, but this felt worse. Here he was not just representing himself or his unit. He was representing all of humanity. Every person on Earth was being judged by how he acted in the next few minutes. The alien reporters were getting excited. Their cameras and recording devices were all pointed at the human delegation. Some species communicated through color changes in their skin, and Dae-ho could see several aliens literally glowing with interest. "What kind of test?" So-min asked. She had moved away from the food tables and was now standing with the main group. "Simple," Veltar said. He walked toward Dae-ho with slow, heavy steps. "Your warrior here thinks he is tough. Let him prove it." Dae-ho looked at Ambassador Choi. She gave him a tiny nod. Whatever happened next, they had to show that humans were not afraid. Running away would be worse than any embarrassment. "What do you want me to do?" Dae-ho asked. "Stand there," Veltar said. "Do not move. Do not block. Let me show everyone how weak human soldiers really are." The room went completely quiet. Even the air recycling system seemed to stop making noise. Every alien in the hall was watching. Daho could feel their eyes on him like a physical weight. Veltar raised his massive hand. His fingers were as thick as Daho's wrist, and his palm was the size of a dinner plate. The commander's reach was so long that he could hit Daho without stepping closer. "This will not kill you," Veltar said, though his voice suggested he might not care if it did, "but it will show everyone what human strength really means." Daho planted his feet and straightened his shoulders. He had been hit before, during training, during bar fights, during actual combat. He knew how to take a punch. How different could a slap be? Veltar's hand moved faster than something that large should be able to move. It cut through the air with a sound like a whip cracking. The impact hit Daho's face with tremendous force. The sound echoed off the walls of the diplomatic hall like a gunshot. For a moment, nothing happened. Daho rocked back slightly on his heels but stayed standing. His cheek stung and he could taste blood in his mouth, but he was still upright. Still looking Veltar in the eye, then came a different sound, a sharp crack like a tree branch breaking. Veltar's confident expression changed to one of surprise, then pain. The commander grabbed his hand and bent over, making a noise that sounded like steam escaping from a pipe. "What?" Veltar gasped. "How?" Daho spit blood onto the floor and wiped his mouth with the back of his hand. "Is that all?" he asked. The room exploded into noise. Aliens were talking, clicking, buzzing, and making sounds that had no human equivalent. The reporters were going crazy, their recording devices working overtime. Ambassador Choi looked shocked but pleased. Captain Nam was trying not to smile. Veltar was still holding his hand. Through his fingers, Daho could see that the commander's knuckles were swelling and turning a darker shade of blue. The great Altarian warrior, who had wanted to show human weakness, was the one who got hurt. "Guards," Veltar shouted. "This human attacked me." "You attacked him," Somin said quickly. "Everyone saw it. You said you were going to test his strength, and you did." Dr. Kyung-Ho Yoon, the human medical officer, stepped forward. "Commander, you should let me look at that hand. I think you may have fractured something." Veltar looked around the room. Every alien was staring at him. Some looked confused, others looked impressed, and a few looked worried. This was not how the demonstration was supposed to go. "This is impossible," Veltar said. "Humans are weak. Everyone knows this." "Maybe," Daho said, rubbing his cheek where a bruise was already forming. Everyone was wrong. The diplomatic reception was over. Within minutes, the story would be traveling across the galaxy faster than light. A human soldier had stood still while an Altarian commander tried to hurt him, and the alien was the one who got injured. As the crowd dispersed, Tae-Sung Lee walked over to Daho. "You okay?" "Yeah," Daho said. "But I think things just got very complicated for all of us." He was right. The slap that was supposed to prove human weakness had done the opposite. Now the galaxy would want to know how strong humans really were, and Daho had a feeling that some of those answers might scare even his own people. The news traveled faster than anyone expected. Within 6 hours of the incident, every major news network in the galaxy was showing the same footage. Commander Veltar, the famous Altarian warrior, slapping a human soldier, and then crying out in pain when his own hand broke. Daho sat in the medical bay while Dr. Kyung-Ho Yoon examined his face. The bruise covered half his cheek and was turning a deep purple color, but nothing was broken. Dr. Yoon shook his head as he worked. "You should have a concussion," Dr. Yoon said. "Maybe a broken jaw, definitely some missing teeth, but instead you just have a bruise." "I've been hit harder during training," Daho said. "That's what I don't understand," Dr. Yoon replied. He pulled up a scan on his computer screen. "I've been studying alien physiology for 3 years. Veltar's species evolved on a planet with low gravity. Their bones are strong but light, like bird bones. When he hit you with full force, it should have sent you flying across the room." Ambassador Hye-Jin Choi entered the medical bay with Captain Jin Woo Nam and So-Min Park behind her. She looked tired and worried. "How bad is the political damage?" Daho asked. "Mixed," Ambassador Choi said, sitting down heavily in a chair. "Half the galaxy thinks you attacked a peaceful diplomat. The other half thinks Veltar got what he deserved for trying to humiliate humanity." "What does Earth Command say?" Captain Nam answered. "They want a full report, and they want to know if this incident means we need to prepare for war with the hegemony." "War?" Daho looked surprised. "Over a slap?" "It's not about the slap," So-Min explained. "It's about what the slap means. For the past 1,000 years, the Altarians have been the galaxy's police force. They keep order because everyone is afraid of them. But if humans can stand up to them without getting hurt, that changes everything. Dr. Yoon turned his computer screen so everyone could see it. I've been looking at the medical data from last night. Commander Veltar hit Sergeant Kim with enough force to kill most known species. The impact pressure was over 3,000 pounds per square inch. How much is that in normal terms? Captain Nam asked. Imagine being hit by a car going 30 miles per hour, Dr. Yoon said. That's how hard Veltar slapped Daeho. Everyone in the room went quiet. Ambassador Choi stared at the screen for a long moment. And Daeho just stood there and took it? Not just took it, Dr. Yoon said. He barely moved. His body absorbed the impact like it was nothing. Meanwhile, Veltar's hand hit something harder than he expected and fractured in 3 places. How is that possible? So Min asked. Dr. Yoon pulled up another screen showing human and Altarian bone scans side by side. Earth has higher gravity than most inhabited planets. Humans evolved to live in what other species would consider extreme conditions. Our bones are much denser, our muscles are much stronger, and our pain tolerance is much higher. You mean we're naturally tougher than aliens? Captain Nam asked. Much tougher, Dr. Yoon confirmed. I've been reviewing the medical data from other species. Most alien worlds have gravity between 60 and 80% of Earth normal. Some are even lower. Their bodies adapted to easier conditions. Ambassador Choi was looking thoughtful. What about their military training? That's the interesting part, Doctor, Yoon said. Altarian soldiers train in artificial gravity fields to make them stronger, but their maximum training gravity is only 90% of what humans live in every day. What they consider extreme military conditioning, we consider normal life. Daeho touched his bruised face. So I'm not special. Any human could have done what I did? Any healthy adult human? Yes, Dr. Yoon said. You didn't do anything superhuman. You just stood there and let your normal human body do what it was designed to do. The door to the medical bay opened and Tae-Sung Lee rushed in. He was carrying a datapad and looked excited. You need to see this, he said. The intelligence networks are going crazy. Every military in the galaxy is trying to figure out what happened last night. He handed the datapad to Ambassador Choi. The Hegemony Council is meeting in emergency session. They think humans might be some kind of secret warrior race. What? So Min laughed. That's ridiculous. Is it? Tae-Sung asked. Look at this from their perspective. A new species shows up and joins the council. They seem peaceful and friendly. Then one of their soldiers takes a full-power attack from a hegemony commander and doesn't even fall down. Meanwhile, the commander breaks his own hand trying to hurt the human. Captain Nam was reading over Ambassador Choi's shoulder. This report says the Zentaran Empire wants to meet with our military leaders. They're offering a defense alliance. The Zentarans never offer alliances, Ambassador Choi said. They're almost as isolationist as the hegemony. They are now, Tae-Sung said. But they've been watching the footage from last night. They think humanity might be the key to standing up to Altarian dominance. Dr. Yoon was still looking at his scans. This is going to change everything. For 1,000 years, the galaxy has been shaped by the fact that Altarians are stronger than everyone else. But if humans are even stronger. We're not stronger, Daeho said. Veltar could probably lift twice as much weight as me. He's huge, but you're tougher, Dr. Yoon explained. Strength and toughness are different things. Veltar can hit hard, but he can't take a hit. His bones are light and his pain tolerance is low. That's why he hurt himself when he hit you. Ambassador Choi stood up and started pacing. We need to contact Earth immediately. The president needs to know that this incident has shifted the entire balance of galactic power. What about Veltar? Daeho asked. Is he going to be okay? Physically, yes, So Min said. Dr. Yoon treated his fractures, but politically he's in trouble. The Hegemony Council is not happy that their top commander was injured by a species they considered primitive. Actually, Tae-Sung said, checking his datapad again, there's something else. The footage from last night is being analyzed by military experts across the galaxy. They're not just looking at what happened, they're looking at how you reacted. What do you mean? Your body language, your facial expressions, your vital signs. Taesung explained. Most species show fear or stress when they're about to be attacked. You didn't. Your heart rate was steady, your breathing was normal, and you never moved to defend yourself. I was following orders, Daeho said. Veltar told me not to move or block. That's what's scaring them, Taesung replied. You followed orders to stand still and take a potentially deadly attack. Most species have instincts that would make that impossible. They would run or fight back automatically. Dr. Yoon nodded. Human discipline is unusual in the galaxy. Most species rely on technology to overcome their natural instincts. Humans can override their instincts through training and willpower. So what happens now? Captain Nam asked. Ambassador Choi stopped pacing and looked at everyone in the room. Now we try to figure out how to use this situation to help humanity, instead of starting a galactic war. Any ideas? So-min asked. A few, Ambassador Choi said. But first I need to make some calls to Earth. The government needs to know that Sergeant Kim just made humanity the most interesting species in the galaxy. As the group prepared to leave the medical bay, Dr. A. Yoon called out to Daeho. Sergeant, I want to run some more tests. Physical fitness, reaction time, pain tolerance. If we're going to be the tough species in the galaxy, we should understand exactly how tough we are. Daeho nodded. Whatever you need, Doc. As he left the medical bay, Daeho wondered what he had gotten himself into. All he had done was follow orders and stand still. Now it seemed like the entire galaxy was afraid of humans. Maybe that wasn't such a bad thing. 3 days after the incident, Investigator Zephnis arrived at Orbital Station Nexus 7. The Cosmic Tribunal had sent their best neutral arbiter to determine if humanity had violated any galactic peace accords. Zephnis belonged to a species called the Observers, tall, gray beings who were known for their fairness and their ability to see truth through lies. Yoon Han, Earth's military lawyer, met Zephnis at the docking bay. She was nervous but prepared. The entire future of human-alien relations might depend on the next few days. Investigator Zephnis, she said, bowing slightly in the Observer's traditional greeting. Thank you for coming so quickly. This incident has created much concern, Zephnis replied. His voice was calm and emotionless. Many species believe that humanity has hidden their true nature from the Galactic Council. We have hidden nothing, Yoonji said. We answered all questions honestly during our membership application. Perhaps, but honesty and complete disclosure are different things. We will examine all evidence and determine the truth. The investigation began immediately. Zephnis had brought advanced equipment that could analyze every second of the incident from multiple angles. He also interviewed everyone who was present at the diplomatic reception. Changmin Oh, a journalist from Earth, was covering the investigation for human news networks. He watched as Zephnis carefully examined the footage of Veltar's attack. Fascinating, Zephnis said, pausing the video at the moment of impact. The force readings are confirmed. Commander Veltar struck with enough power to severely injure or kill most galactic species. But Sergeant Kim was not seriously injured, Unji pointed out. Indeed, and that is what has caused such alarm throughout the galaxy. Dr. Kyung-ho Yoon had been called as an expert witness. He presented his analysis of human and alien physiology to the investigator. Earth's gravity is 1.2 times standard galactic average, Dr. Yoon explained. Most inhabited planets have gravity between 0.6 and 0.8 standard. This difference might seem small, but it has enormous effects on physical development. Zephnis studied the data carefully. You are saying that humans naturally develop greater bone density and muscle strength? Yes, but it's more than that, Dr. Yoon continued. Earth's evolutionary environment was unusually hostile. High gravity, extreme weather, aggressive predators, frequent natural disasters. Humans evolved not just to survive, but to thrive in conditions that most species would consider uninhabitable. Can you provide specific examples? Dr. Yoon pulled up a comparison chart. The average human can survive impacts that would be fatal to 70% of known species. We can function in temperature ranges that would incapacitate most aliens. Our pain tolerance is roughly 3 times galactic average. Zephnis made notes on his datapad. These capabilities were not mentioned in Humanities Council application. Because we didn't think they were unusual, Yoonji said. Earth Command assumed all species had similar basic capabilities. A reasonable assumption, Zephnis agreed. but incorrect. Most galactic species evolved as either prey animals or highly specialized predators. Humans appear to be persistence hunters, a very rare evolutionary path. What does that mean? Chang Min asked. It means, Dr. Yoon explained, that humans evolved to chase prey over long distances until the prey collapsed from exhaustion. This required enormous endurance, high pain tolerance, and the ability to keep functioning while injured. Zephnis looked interested. Continue. Most predators rely on speed, strength, or specialized weapons like claws and teeth. Humans rely on endurance and intelligence. We can keep going when other species would give up or collapse. The investigator spent the next day interviewing alien witnesses. Their testimony was consistent and troubling for galactic peace. Many species admitted they were now afraid of humans. We thought they were harmless, said Ambassador Kretok from the Spiral Federation. They seemed so small and weak compared to the hegemony forces. But if one human soldier can withstand a full attack from Commander Veltar, you fear that humans are more dangerous than they appeared? Yes. If they have been hiding their true capabilities, what else might they be hiding? Zephnis also interviewed Commander Veltar, whose hand was still in a medical cast. The Altarian commander was embarrassed and angry. The human used some kind of defensive technology, Veltar insisted. No natural creature could withstand that much force. Our scans detected no technology on Sergeant Kim, Zephnis replied. He was wearing a standard dress uniform with no protective equipment. Then he must have been enhanced somehow, modified by human scientists. Also unlikely, our medical scans show that Sergeant Kim is completely natural, with no artificial modifications. Veltar's confidence cracked. Then how? That is what we are trying to determine. On the third day, Zephnis called for a demonstration. He wanted to test human capabilities under controlled conditions. Daeho volunteered along with Corporal Sung-Ho Bae, another Marine who had been on the station during the incident. The tests were conducted in the station's gymnasium, with representatives from a dozen species watching. Dr. Yisu Kang, a human physiologist, monitored the human's vital signs throughout the tests. The first test was simple impact resistance. Alien volunteers from different species were asked to hit a target as hard as they could. Then Daeho and Sung-Ho were asked to withstand similar impacts. The results were startling. Impacts that knocked alien volunteers unconscious barely affected the humans. Even when they used mechanical devices to increase the force, the humans remained standing. This is impossible, muttered Dr. Thesera, a Zentaran physicist. The energy transfer should cause massive internal damage. Human bone density is roughly 40% higher than galactic average, Dr. Kang explained. Our muscle fibers are also denser and more efficient. What you consider extreme punishment, we consider normal stress. The second test was endurance. All volunteers were asked to run on exercise machines until they collapsed from exhaustion. Most alien participants lasted between 15 and 30 minutes. Sung-Ho ran for 2 hours before Dr. Kang made him stop. Remarkable, Zephnis said. And Corporal Bae could have continued? Probably for several more hours, Dr. Kang confirmed. Humans evolved for persistence hunting. We can run down prey animals that are much faster than us, simply by outlasting them. The final test was pain tolerance. Volunteers were subjected to gradually increasing levels of discomfort, using harmless but unpleasant energy fields. Most species reached their limit quickly. The humans endured levels that made several alien observers physically sick to watch. Enough, Zephnis said, stopping the test. I have seen sufficient evidence. That evening, Zephnis called all parties together to announce his findings. After careful investigation, I conclude that humanity has not violated any galactic treaties or laws. The incident between Commander Veltar and Sergeant Kim was clearly initiated by the commander, who struck first without provocation. There were murmurs of relief from the human delegation. However, Zephnis continued, the investigation has revealed information that will significantly impact galactic relations. Humanity possesses natural physical capabilities that far exceed galactic norms. This was not disclosed during their council membership application, but appears to be due to ignorance rather than deception. What does this mean for humanity's council membership? Ambassador Choi asked. That will be decided by the full council, Zephnis replied. But I will recommend that humanity's membership continue, with updated documentation of their true capabilities. And what about the other species' concerns? Yunji asked. Zephyrus looked around the room. Fear is natural when facing the unknown, but fear can lead to wisdom or to violence. I hope the galaxy will choose wisdom. As the meeting ended, Chang Min-o approached Zephyrus for a final interview. What do you think will happen next? Chang Min asked. Change, Zephyrus replied. For 1,000 years, galactic civilization has been built on the assumption that the hegemony is the strongest military force. That assumption is now in question. Do you think there will be war? That depends on how humanity uses their newfound respect and how other species react to the shift in power. As Zephyrus departed the station, he left behind a galaxy that would never be the same. The quiet species from Earth had proven they were anything but weak. Now everyone would have to figure out what that meant for the future. 2 weeks after investigator Zephyrus published his report, General Thexmol of the Hegemony contacted Earth Command directly. The message was simple. They wanted to conduct formal military tests to understand human capabilities. The request came with both a threat and an opportunity. Refuse and face increased hostility. Agree and potentially gain powerful allies. Admiral Sarah Chen, commander of Earth's Space Forces, agreed to the tests, but she insisted on strict rules. The tests would be voluntary, monitored by neutral observers, and designed to measure capability without causing permanent harm. Daeho found himself selected as the primary test subject, along with Corporal Sung-Ho Bae and 5 other Marines. They were transported to a neutral testing facility on asteroid Gamma 7, a military research station run by the Scientific Coalition. Dr. Yisu Kang accompanied them as the human medical observer. She was nervous about what the aliens might ask the Marines to do, but Earth Command had made it clear that backing down was not an option. Remember, Captain Jin Woo Nam told the Marines before the tests began, "You're not just representing yourselves or even the Marine Corps. You're representing all of humanity. Whatever they ask you to do, show them what humans are capable of." The testing facility was enormous, with different sections designed to measure various types of physical and mental performance. General Thexmol was there personally, along with military scientists from 6 different species. "These tests will be comprehensive," General Thexmol announced to the assembled group. "We will measure strength, endurance, pain tolerance, reaction time, and combat effectiveness. We will compare human performance to established galactic military standards." "What are you hoping to learn?" Dr. Kang asked. "The truth," Thexmol replied. "If humans are as capable as they appear, we need to understand what that means for galactic security." The first day of testing focused on basic physical capabilities. The Marines were asked to lift weights, run distances, and perform various exercises, while alien scientists took measurements. The results confirmed what Dr. Yoon had discovered earlier. Humans operated at levels that most species considered extreme. "Fascinating," Dr. Moltek, a Zenteran physiologist, said as he watched Sung-Ho complete his 50th pull-up without showing signs of fatigue. "His muscle efficiency is remarkable. He should have reached failure 10 repetitions ago according to our models. Human muscles have a different fiber composition than most species," Dr. Kang explained. "We evolved for sustained effort rather than short bursts of maximum power." The strength test revealed something unexpected. While humans weren't the strongest species in terms of pure lifting power, they could maintain their strength much longer than others. When alien volunteers became exhausted after a few minutes of maximum effort, the humans could continue for hours. "This explains much about the incident with Commander Veltar," General Thexmol said. "Altarians are very strong, but only for brief periods. In extended combat, humans would have a significant advantage." The second day focused on pain tolerance and injury recovery. This was the test Dr. Kang was most worried about. The aliens used energy fields and pressure devices to cause discomfort without permanent damage, gradually increasing the intensity until subjects reached their limit. The results were shocking even to Dr. Kang. The Marines endured pain levels that made several alien observers leave the room. When Daeho finally reached his limit, the reading was 3 times higher than the previous galactic record. "How is this possible?" Dr. Zexini, the lead alien researcher, asked. "Human evolution included constant exposure to injury and pain," Dr. Kang explained. "Our ancestors had to keep functioning while hurt or they would die. High pain tolerance became a survival trait. But the implications—" Dr. Zexini looked disturbed. "A soldier who can continue fighting while seriously injured changes the entire nature of combat. The third day was combat simulation. The Marines were given basic weapons and asked to fight against holographic opponents, programmed with the combat styles of various alien species. The simulations were designed to be challenging but fair. The humans dominated. They moved differently than the aliens expected, combining aggression with endurance in ways that confused the simulation programs. When alien combat styles relied on quick, decisive attacks, the humans absorbed the damage and kept fighting. When the programs tried to wear them down with extended combat, the humans outlasted them. They fight like berserkers, observed Commander Yiltok, a military analyst from the Spiral Federation. But controlled berserkers, they can think and plan while in combat fury. It's not fury, Captain Nam corrected. It's training. Marines are taught to function under extreme stress. What you see as berserker behavior is really just professional competence. The most revealing test came on the fourth day: team combat scenarios. The Marines were divided into two groups and asked to compete against mixed alien military units. The aliens had superior technology and numerical advantages, but the humans had something else. "Watch how they coordinate," General Thexmol said to his staff as they observed the exercise. "They communicate constantly, even under fire. Most species lose coordination when stressed. The human teams won every scenario, even when outnumbered 3-1. They used tactics that seemed reckless to alien observers but proved effective. They would deliberately take damage to create opportunities, trusting their natural toughness to see them through." "This is disturbing," Dr. Moltek said after watching the humans win their fifth consecutive battle. "They treat serious injury as a tactical consideration, rather than a mission-ending event." Dr. Kang was watching the vital signs of the Marines during combat. "Look at this data. Their stress hormones are elevated, but within normal human ranges. For them, this level of combat is challenging but not overwhelming." "What would be overwhelming for them?" General Thexmol asked. "I don't know," Dr. Kang admitted. "We might need more extreme tests to find their actual limits." The final day included psychological testing. The aliens wanted to understand human mental resilience as well as physical capabilities. They subjected the Marines to various stress scenarios: isolation, disorientation, fear responses, and decision-making under pressure. Once again, the humans performed far above galactic norms. They remained calm in situations that would panic most species. They made logical decisions even when afraid. Most importantly, they continued to function as a team, even when individual members were under extreme stress. "Remarkable," said Dr. Theiske, the lead psychologist. "Their social bonding actually increases under stress rather than decreasing. Most species become selfish and irrational when threatened. Marines are trained to depend on each other." Deho explained. "When things get bad, we get closer together, not farther apart." As the testing concluded, General Thexmol called a meeting with all the human participants and observers. "I will be honest," he said. "These results are both impressive and terrifying. A single human soldier appears to be equivalent to 3 standard hegemony troops in sustained combat, not because of superior weapons or technology, but because of superior biology and psychology. What does that mean for galactic relations?" Captain Nam asked. "It means everything has changed," General Thexmol replied. "For 1,000 years, the hegemony has maintained peace through superior military force. But if Earth can field soldiers of this caliber, the balance of power shifts dramatically." Dr. Kang looked concerned. "Are you saying there will be conflict?" "Not necessarily," General Thexmol said. "But there will be change. Other species will want to ally with humanity for protection. Some may seek to attack Earth before you become too powerful. And the hegemony will need to decide whether humans are potential partners or inevitable enemies." "What do you recommend?" Captain Nam asked. General Thexmol was quiet for a long moment. "I recommend that humanity be very careful with this newfound respect. Power without wisdom leads to destruction, but wisdom without power leads to extinction." As the humans prepared to return to Earth, they carried with them test results that would reshape galactic civilization. They had proven that humans were not just tough. They were potentially the most effective soldiers the galaxy had ever seen. The question now was what everyone would do with that knowledge. 6 months after the testing on Gamma 7, the galaxy looked completely different. The news of human military capabilities had spread to every inhabited system, creating a political earthquake that toppled old alliances and formed new ones. Earth's capital city was busier than it had ever been. Alien diplomats arrived daily, seeking meetings with human leaders. Some came offering friendship and trade agreements. Others came with threats and demands. All of them came because they were afraid. Admiral Rathek, surprisingly, was among the first to arrive. The Altarian leader had once been General Thexmol's superior, but the failed testing program had damaged hegemony credibility. Now Rathek was trying a different approach. "Admiral," Consul Mikyung Lim said, greeting the alien leader at the spaceport. She had been appointed as Earth's new military liaison officer after the testing results became public. "Welcome to Earth." Rathek looked uncomfortable in Earth's gravity, but he tried not to show it. At 8 feet tall, he was still impressive, but everyone now knew that his size meant less than they had thought. "Consul Lim," Rathek replied, "I come seeking partnership, not dominance." It was a remarkable statement from a species that had controlled galactic military policy for 1,000 years. But the test results had made it clear that human soldiers were superior to Altarian forces in almost every meaningful way. The formal negotiations took place in Geneva, with representatives from Earth's major nations and the Galactic Council. The discussions were complicated by the fact that dozens of other species wanted to be included. Everyone wanted to know what humanity planned to do with their newfound status as the galaxy's premier warriors. "We never wanted to be warriors," President Martinez told the assembled diplomats. "We joined the Galactic Council seeking knowledge and peaceful cooperation." "But circumstances have changed," Rathek said. "Whether you wanted it or not, humanity is now the strongest military force in known space. That brings responsibilities." Commander Inho Seo, who had been promoted to lead the new Human Galactic Defense Unit, stood to address the assembly. "Earth is prepared to use our capabilities to maintain galactic peace, but we will do so as partners, not rulers." The negotiations produced the Treaty of Terra, a complex agreement that established humanity's role in galactic affairs. Earth would provide military protection for peaceful species in exchange for technology, resources, and cultural exchange. The hegemony would remain the official galactic police force, but they would work with human units in major operations. Most importantly, the treaty established training programs. Alien military officers would come to Earth to learn human combat techniques, while human officers would study galactic warfare at alien academies. Dae-ho Kim found himself at the center of these changes. He had been promoted to lieutenant colonel and placed in command of the first integrated human-alien combat unit. His team included Marines from Earth and volunteers from 6 different species. The training facility was built in the mountains of Colorado, where Earth's high altitude would help alien recruits adapt to difficult conditions. The first class included 30 aliens and 20 humans, all volunteers who wanted to be part of the new galactic military structure. "Welcome to Hell Week," Dae-ho announced to the mixed group of recruits on their first day. "For the next 7 days, you will learn what human military training is really like." The alien recruits thought they were prepared. They had studied the test results from Gamma 7 and believed they understood human capabilities. They were wrong. "This is impossible," gasped trainee Colmex, a Zentaran officer, after the first day of exercises. "Humans train in conditions that would kill most species." "Not kill," Dae-ho corrected. "Just make you stronger. Every human child grows up in gravity that would be considered extreme training for alien soldiers. We don't know any other way to live." By the 3rd day, half the alien recruits had requested medical leave. By the 5th day, only 8 remained. But those 8 were changed. They moved differently, thought differently, and most importantly, they understood what made human soldiers so effective. "I comprehend now," said trainee Silara, a female Altarian who had somehow completed the full week. "Humans do not train to become warriors. You train to become something beyond warriors." "What do you mean?" asked Corporal Sung Ho Bae, who was serving as an instructor. "Warriors fight when they must," Silara explained. "Humans fight because that is what you are. Combat is not something you do, it is something you are." The success of the training program led to a second, more ambitious project. Earth would establish military academies on other planets, teaching human techniques to alien forces. In exchange, humans would learn alien technologies and strategies. Commander Veltar, his hand now fully healed and reinforced with human-grade materials, volunteered for the first exchange program. The Altarian commander who had started the whole crisis by slapping Deho now wanted to learn from human instructors. I was wrong about humans, Veltar admitted during his first day at the Colorado facility. I thought strength was about size and power. I did not understand that true strength comes from endurance and will. You're learning, Deho replied. That's what matters. The changes went beyond military training. Human doctors began studying alien physiology, looking for ways to improve medical treatment across species. Human engineers worked with alien scientists to develop new technologies. Human teachers helped alien children understand the diversity of life in the galaxy. But perhaps the most important change was psychological. For the first time in galactic history, there was a species that other beings could look up to as protectors without fearing them as conquerors. Humans had proven they were strong enough to fight anyone, but wise enough to choose peace whenever possible. The annual Galactic Council meeting that year was held on Earth, in the newly constructed Unity Center in New York. Representatives from over 200 species gathered to discuss the future of galactic civilization. 1 year ago, President Martinez addressed the assembly. Humanity was the newest and smallest member of this council. Today we are honored to be your partners in building a safer, more peaceful galaxy. Ambassador Choi, now promoted to Secretary General of Galactic Affairs, presented the annual security report. Piracy is down 70% since human patrol units began operating. Territorial disputes have decreased by half. For the first time in centuries, small species are not afraid of being conquered by larger ones. The report was impressive, but the real measure of success was simpler. For the first time in anyone's memory, the galaxy felt safe. As the council session ended, Deho stood on the observation deck of the Unity Center, looking up at the stars. Ships from dozens of worlds were visible in orbit, their crews working together on projects that would have been impossible a year earlier. Soman Park joined him at the window. She had been promoted to Director of Interspecies Cultural Relations and was responsible for helping the various species understand each other. Do you ever regret it? She asked. That slap that started everything. Deho touched his face where the bruise had long since faded. No, it needed to happen. The galaxy needed to know that humans aren't weak. But more importantly, we needed to know that being strong doesn't mean being cruel. What do you think happens next? We keep building, Deho said. We keep learning. And we keep proving that strength and wisdom can work together. Above them, the stars shone down on a galaxy that was finally learning to live in peace. And at the center of that peace stood humanity, the Sioux, species that had accidentally become the galaxy's guardians by simply refusing to fall down when someone tried to knock them. Over the slap that was meant to humiliate, Earth had instead freed the galaxy from 1,000 years of fear. Sometimes the best revolutions start with the smallest gestures. In the end, that was the most human thing of all.